Good evening, everybody. My name is Indy Samra, and I serve as a co-chair of the Punjabi Chamber of Commerce here in New Jersey. Before we get started, I want to thank you all for joining us this evening. In addition, I want to remind those who haven't joined up for the free membership for the Punjabi Chamber of Commerce that you can sign up with a free membership at punjabichamber.com. Come join our business community. What started the year as a global health pandemic has spawned into an economic crisis. As a result, there have been many in our community that have been deeply impacted. Those folks that serve in the tourism industry, food and beverage, logistics, and many others. Our expert panel today, Restaurants and COVID, Annihilation and Hope, is going to provide us a little bit of insight as well as how businesses are going to be able to adapt going forward. But before we get started, I'd like to go ahead and introduce our annual sponsors, MassMutual.
In neighborhoods across the country, you'll
You're supposed to play a video. We're having some technical difficulties. We'll just wait for a couple of seconds, or I can just speak to it.
Hello, how are you doing? I'm so sorry.
That's fine, Maneet. We're just about starting.
I'm just doing it from my phone because I don't even know. I passionately hate technology. And the amount I've been doing nowadays is not even funny.
You'd rather be cooking, so it's okay.
I have to do cooking and technology together now with all the taping going on at home because we can't go to studios. They just send everything across. Sorry.
No worries. We're just doing a little introduction of our sponsor, which is MassMutual, and then we will get on with the formal program.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, just listen in.
Give me a minute, guys. I'll start playing the video. I just want to do one more thing.
In neighborhoods across the country, you'll see gratitude. Communities showing support in their own way. Our way is MassMutual Health Bridge, a free life insurance program just for healthcare workers fighting COVID-19. So to all the healthcare workers on the front lines, thank you.
Hello, my name is Rekha Trivedi, and on behalf of the MassMutual family, I would like to thank all the healthcare professionals who've been fighting this war against Corona and keeping us safe while selflessly working day in, day out. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, it's a great pleasure to be partnered with Punjabi Chamber of Commerce. This is Meena Chip, and on behalf of MassMutual family, I would like to say thank you, PCC, for providing us this platform to convey our big thank you to the frontline workers who have been working selflessly in fighting against this COVID-19 and keeping us safe. It's a great work, and we are here to help our community whatever way we can. Again, a big thank you, PCC, for having us on board. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to partner with the Punjabi Chamber of Commerce. We just want to say thank you to all the frontline workers who are helping us with this terrible situation of COVID-19. Thank you very much.
Awesome, awesome. All right. The only reason we send the videos in, we did not trust the technology. If we could not make the call, at least you guys can play the video. That's the reason why. But hey, Andy, thank you for the introduction. My name is Nimesh Trivedi. I know a lot of people are just waiting to hear from my esteemed panelists, so I'm going to keep this short. I want to thank Gary and team for the fabulous work you guys are doing for the Punjabi Chamber of Commerce. The values of the PCC about providing a platform for the community and really adding some real value and tangible benefits is a really novel thought. We at Mass Mutual, it's a 170-year-old company that is ingrained in terms of what we do. But again, about today, it's not about Mass Mutual, it's about really our community, which is really you guys. One of the programs I want to highlight, which is this video, is we have pledged $3 billion for all the frontline workers, for the people who are really putting other people's health and life in front of them. The past 2 months, out of the $3 billion, we have already disbursed over $100 million to all the Americans. People who work in licensed hospitals, people who work in urgent care centers, EMS, nursing homes, assisted living or inpatient hospice or cancer facilities, temporary COVID treatment facilities. My ask of you guys today is please share the word. Don't be shy. If you know of someone who's in the front lines helping, doing this great cause, please let us know. If you want to help them, help us help them back. Last but not the least, Sat Sri Akal, Gary asked me to speak in Punjabi. That's the best Punjabi I could come up with. But listen, guys, I think our time, our experience, all the work that we can get from the corporates like Mass Mutual, this is all about us. Our whole team is Live Mutual. If we don't spend our time, if we don't bring our tools and resources to the table, I mean, what good are we for? So again, thank you for having us as partners. I look forward to a continued partnership with you guys. My teammates, Meena and Rekha, will also spend a couple of minutes, but last but not the least, I want to thank the panelists, all the panelists who are spending their time today. I know it's tough. It's tough with 25 Zoom calls every day, but again, it's the experience and tools and resources that we bring to the table. I can see myself. That's awesome. But guys, thank you. I appreciate the partnership. And now I know what I've been missing by not attending these webinars. I promise to be a regular member moving forward. Meena ji, you want to spend some time? Meena ji, you're on mute. We cannot hear you.
Hi, this is Meena Chib. I'm also a part of Mass Mutual, which is a very strong financial company, 170 years old. And we have been ranked, 7th in the row in Fortune 100 companies amongst the most ethical companies in the world. It's not just a front runner, only in the highest paid dividends company in the industry, but also a range of products we have. So we have been helping the community in any way we can, and with a very financial strong strength, we are here to help our community. Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to speak with you and to come in front of you, and we are always there. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rekha Trivedi. I'm also a part of the Mass Mutual family. First of all, I want to thank PCC for this platform. We partnered with PCC because we align in our values of helping the community in whatever way we can. I know these are difficult times in terms of challenges with health, but the financial challenges are equally real. We will a little bit for the community and for the PCC members. We look forward to helping you guys. We are coming up with a short series of webinars to just spread financial awareness and help the members and the community in whatever way we can. So be on the lookout for the invite. Back to you, Indy. Thank you.
Thank you, Rekha. Thank you to Mass Mutual. Thank you to Meena, Nimesh, and Rekha. If it wasn't for our sponsors, we wouldn't be fortunate enough to bring you webinars such as this that can potentially add great value, not to just you, but to other members of our community. Now, before I hand it over to our moderator for this evening, I'd like to introduce you to my very good friend, our founding member, the visionary behind the Punjabi Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Gary Pasricha. Gary, please.
Thanks, Indy. So a lot of people always ask me, what is the Punjabi Chamber, and what is it all about? The Punjabi Chamber was formed by the community for the community. We formed this 3 years ago with contributions from the community, And the vision is to unite and to enrich the global Punjabi community. So now, proud to say we're up to 13 chapters, and pretty soon we'll be opening up in the Bay Area as well, which will be our 14th chapter. And in a couple of weeks, you'll see a launch for our Jalandhar chapter, and we'll have Ramit Arora speaking from Biz2 Credit, right, on that thing, on that launch. So what the bottom line here is that we're a platform for giving. And so we have a wonderful website. You can sign up for free at punjabichamber.com. And that's really the community aspect. And so we're starting many different programs, including mentor programs. We're looking at investment groups, a resume bank, and quite a few other programs to get our community the help that it needs and to help our members as well. So I want to thank the panelists, Indy, Kunal, and actually my dear friend Gurpreet, who's also a trustee, who's helping us with the admin duties today. So I appreciate that. So hand it off to you, Indy. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay, and now I'd like to go ahead and introduce you to our moderator for this evening, a true Renaissance man. Kunal Lamba is a restaurant owner, a restaurant and hospitality consultant, a brand ambassador, a TV personality. He's also the only man that does not allow me to order what I want off of his menu, and he cooks better than my mother. Kunal, over to you, my friend, as the rest of us go ahead and drop off.
Thank you. Your check will be sent to you for all the words which you just used, right? Thank you, Indy. Hi, guys. So now we are just the panelists and myself. I thank you all because of my personal connections with you. You were the chosen ones for this this meeting, this webinar. A few rules, not rules, but I want to tell you what's going to happen. We will wrap up before 6:15. So just keep that in mind. This is going to be just the 5 of us. People will be asking some questions, which I will be taking if they're appropriate and if we have time. I'll try and obviously cover 99% of those. And there are 6 topics which we are discussing today. I did mention it to you guys, but let's reiterate for people who are watching. First is the impact of COVID-19 on restaurants. That's a no-brainer. We do not wish to just lament on what's happened, but we'll just brush past. If there is something really different which happened, an experience which you want to share, you'll be sharing that. That's number 1. Number 2 is, because I want to keep it more positive. So no crying over spilled milk now. Number 2 is opportunity. I think COVID-19 has given a lot of opportunity to people as well. So this webinar, at the end of it, when people watch it, they should go home with something that world has not come to an end yet. And it's definitely restaurants are here to stay. That's the message which we want to get. Number 3 is innovation. You have seen those crazy gadgets and crazy contraptions which restaurants are putting nowadays, from screen dividers to bubbles and God knows what all, and to a lot of real innovations in food. So we'll discuss that, what you have done in your restaurants or what you have come across in other restaurants. The third is absolute necessary things which you have. Fourth actually is absolute necessary things which you want to do to stay afloat. That's a very detailed one. Fifth is a sensitive one. Some people do not want to talk about it, but I want to talk about it. PPP and government assistance. How did it help? Did you use your PPP? What do you think about it? What else do you expect from the government? You know, there is another bill which is about restaurants in Congress, which I'll explain you. What else the government can do? And we will be sending this to NRA also, not the Rifle Association, the Restaurant Association. And then the last one is the future of restaurants. Think of cloud kitchens and blah, blah, blah. So let's come to the first topic, the impact of restaurants. So I will be starting the conversation by giving the microphone to one of you, and I'll be just, I promise. This one I'm going to give to Maneet Chauhan, who I think wears more feathers than anyone else on the panel. जो दिखता है वही बिकता है और मनीत चौहान सबसे ज़्यादा दिखती हैं. right? So we'll give it to her. Immediate impact on your businesses, on Chopped, on your shoots, after COVID, Maneet.
So in terms of the immediate impact, we decided to shut down all the restaurants around. We have 4 restaurants over here in Nashville, and when we saw this trend coming, we decided to shut down all the restaurants before it was mandated. And the reason to do that was, first of all, to cut the losses, because people were afraid and they were not coming out. And the second was also for our team members. I mean, it was 250 people. We wanted to make sure that they were applying for unemployment or whatever assistance that they could get. And I think that was a really big thing for us, just to make sure that our entire team was taken care of. The most incredible part about this entire thing, I mean, at that time, you were right, Kunal, like, we don't want to talk about the crying and all. There was a lot of crying. There was a lot of rona dhona. Everything was there. But I think it also got our entire core team together. And we started really from scratch working on how to innovate. And then the big thing also is that Nashville, I think, I was just talking to somebody who was in New York, New Jersey area. I mean, that area got affected a lot more than Nashville did. Nashville still, because it's got space, I think we were spared a little better.
Good. Sujan, Sarkar, you run about 6 kitchens in this country. No, 5, I think, right? Or 6?
5, yeah.
5 kitchens in this country, and they're all over the place. Which one was the easiest for you?
I think, as I said, just before this lockdown happened, I would say, now I can say that I'm lucky enough. I just came back to Chicago from Delhi. So I was in Delhi for about 6 weeks before that. And I would say Chicago, it really, because I can only say that because I was there. Other places, depends, because New York, it was badly hit, right? And we have Baar there is so big. We do big numbers. Of course, the people, they weren't there to come back, And other places, Bay Area, it's so different. We have 2 restaurants here, one in the city and we just opened one in Palo Alto. So it's entirely different. But I think Chicago was a bit in the middle. It's not that extreme. At the same time, weather was good. That was helpful. And I think we are, Rooh in Chicago is, I think we have that clientele who really want to come and try. And so that's why it's worked well. And of course, we have our core team, as Maneet, you mentioned, that core team, it's very important. So that's everywhere. We have our people there. They started everything from scratch again. And that's what they did. So I would say impact-wise, Baar was badly hit at the beginning, and also San Francisco. But Chicago, it started doing well, and also Palo Alto. And we opened Columbus. That's the first restaurant we opened after COVID. But now, unless until you have outdoor space or patio, and trust me, when we opened Columbus, it was unexpectedly, we did really well. But after COVID, it's changed everything. We are struggling a bit there, and there's no patio, and the demographic is so different. I would say if you put them into 1, 2, 3, 4, that's how it's gonna be.
Right. Gurpreet, I would like you to show the first slide which I sent you of my presentation, which says impact. And the next, I'm going to talk about this. This slide is important to Rajesh Bhardwaj the most. He runs one of the most fine dining, big ticket Indian restaurants in the country, Junoon. And so the first one. And then I call it the 11 Madison Park of Indian cuisine, because 11 Madison and Junoon both happen to be in New York. And that is 11 Madison Park right now, as we see in that picture. And if you see on the right side, I have some indices. It says that fine dining, these are the restaurants which got closed in percentage terms. 44% of fine dining restaurants in the country are closed. That's the large, and the largest is lodging, which is hotel-related restaurants. So you come in that 44% for sure. Uber fine dining. Your food is not takeout friendly, as we say. It's so much happening in a plate. Tell me your thoughts. What happened?
So you hit the nail on the head. Absolutely, I think this has hit the fine dining, I think, the most. And like you said, people come to fine dining for experience, just not only for food. It's everything. By the time they go out, food is one part of it. The presentation of food is one part of it. The entire service, the paraphernalia which goes with an experience, they come for that, which obviously you cannot reproduce or do that in delivery or takeout. We attempted to do that, and we were like, I wouldn't say greatly successful, because I always knew fine dining food does not carry well. Even we tweaked our menu and tried to do things which people can, just rethumb at home and without, going through all what goes on. But again, when a plate at a restaurant comes is totally different when you're, doing it at home. And so as of now, we shut our operations because I thought it's, we opened for about, I would say, 4 weeks, and I decided it's not worth to keep it open, because you cannot sustain only on delivery and takeout. Especially, I can only comment for New York, because some states I've seen restaurants which have got, dining outside on patios, and they've occupied, more. Some of them got more seating now outdoors than they had it indoors, and doing extremely well. But we have not seen that kind of traffic in New York City. Especially the clientele of Junoon was more, corporate clientele, and also, being a destination restaurant, travelers, whether it's domestic or international. So travel is completely gone, and tourism is completely, vanished from New York, and also the corporate clientele is not there. So it was not worth it. So we thought a great deal, instead of just, running through your finances and money and just be there. We thought we should regroup and figure out, what we are going to do in next coming months. So as of now, last week we decided we are going to shut operations till indoor dining starts, and we have more clarity, and also to know where New York is heading, and then we will reopen.
Awesome. I'm going to talk about another aspect of our business, which is catering. Even restaurants, which are restaurants, know that, except Junoon, I guess, most of the restaurants make a lot of money through catering. That balances our P&L statements in most cases. And there is a man sitting here who's the undisputed king of catering. How many events do you do, Kamal, Arora? Let's have a little dialogue, and then I'll give you the mic. How many events in a year?
Well, do you really want me to ask? Then I will answer.
How many did you do last year? 2019?
2019 was one of our best years so far, ever since I'm in this country. I started in 2005 and started with, I would say, little over like 70, 80 events a year. We started, and 2019, after 600, I didn't count because I didn't want to jinx it. But I guess then that was, they say, like when you reach that height, and from there, when you look down, you get a little scared. And I was starting to get, I believe in all this. And I was like, oh my God, 2020 is going to be the year. And in fact, every year in first week of January, I take my core team out. We go stay at a hotel. We spend a couple of days in strategizing the rest of the year. So 2020, the first day of our annual conference or internal meeting was me yelling, literally cursing at my key staff that why did you book so much? Who the hell is going to execute these events? Because for you, it's just a menu written on the paper. But as a CEO, I have to figure out how am I going to execute this? And it's events, it's catering, it's wedding. There are a lot of expectations, a lot of emotions attached to it. So imagine in January 7th, 8th, this is what we were doing and where we are today.
I know. I remember last Memorial Day or something, I helped you out by flying.
I had to drag you, and twice, I think. Twice I had to. Yes.
Yes, so that's the extent. So we will come to that. I think you, when it are the most affected in a different way, because you are affected very long term also. As soon as things change, the restaurants will buzz. But as soon as things change, catering won't buzz. There is a gestation period for catering. You take time in planning an event, then you do tastings, then you plan a wedding. So I think yours is a little different. All right. So as we are not going to talk any more about negatives. Enough of negative stuff. Now we are going to talk about positives. Our second slide, Gurpreet, if you could play. The second topic is opportunity. Now, this is a time where I saw places which did better than COVID. Look at this picture. It's pizza, pizza, pizza. This is a classic example of a business which kind of had about 30 to 40% growth, the pizza business, whether it's a pizzeria or it's a small takeout pizza shop, both. Another area where we saw growth is QSR. I think McDonald's and Wendy's and Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks are very happy right now. And then these are two examples which I think are really important. They did very well. Now, I would like to ask you guys, what else have you observed or you have thought has been an opportunity for you? We'll start with Maneet again. Maneet, any opportunity you saw in your businesses or another business which you know of?
I mean, definitely, as you were mentioning, Kunal, the takeout has, I mean, that has skyrocketed, you know, like when we started off, we closed for 2 weeks and then we started takeouts, etc. And, you know, it was crazy. Everything was timed and how we were doing it.
Before the pandemic, what was your percentage of takeout business versus dine-in business in your 4 restaurants?
Each and every concept had a different. The highest was Chauhan, and Chauhan was doing around 20%, which is still, I mean, for Indian food, you know, because people don't make that at home. Tanso, which is the Chinese concept, also had the same. Mockingbird was more of a place where people would come and hang out. So takeout really wasn't that high over there. And Chattable, same like Chauhan, around 20%. So that really went up. But what was really interesting is the opportunity that we saw was how, you know, people sitting at home, you know, people who were quarantined, they were doing a lot of home cooking, right? And the one thing which we realized was that with Indian food, we take it for granted that we have, you know, 600 masalas in our pantries, but most of the people don't. So we started making a lot of do-it-yourself DIY kits. Right? People would come and, you know, they would send us emails. We would do the chicken tikka masala with rice. And so that was a great avenue. And we saw a lot of people doing that from LA to, you know, Chicago. A lot of people were doing that. So almost CSA boxes, but do it yourself. So that was very fascinating.
Right. What opportunities did you see, Sujan, in any of your 6 locations? Anything which you saw as an opportunity?
Yeah, you know, before I should say that I used to hate takeout. Many people, you know, because my food is, I'm not going to say complicated, but a lot of elements in that. Though, even though in Bar, it's more like a gastro bar, still you see a lot of elements in. And
oysters with granita and it cannot be taken out.
Yeah, and my food doesn't travel. You know, that's, I always hate to say that. But now what happened, as I said, I can't sit at home. So even pandemic, whatever, I used to go to restaurant every day. And so the local partner there, they said, sure, we should start something, you know, the takeout. I said, you know, I'm not good at it. So no point of doing that. Then I saw Alenia, they are doing takeout. It's $40 and they are doing thousands meal a day. So I was looking into that, how, because Alenia is one of my kind of restaurant what I look up to, not from now, it's like since 2005 or whatever. So I think if Alenia can do that, why not? So what we did, not all the restaurant, but again, you know, 6 restaurants, we have to play differently, you know, because the different part of the country. So Chicago, we started doing set meals. It was beautifully presented, everything is cooked nicely. And the same thing, how you eat at Rooh, you are taking it to your, you know, the dining room. and that's really worked well. And I think I was happy to do that thing. But other places, even again, as I said, different city got different kind of clientele, different kind of demographic. So some places we have done a la carte, but definitely we reduced the menu, we cooked fresh. But good thing about Indian food, that if you do a good curry, that will taste better next day, right? And even though you get pizza at home, it's good. But if it's get late or delayed, pizza is not as good as what is coming out of the oven. But curry, I think if you're smart, if you play well, I think that gonna keep the same flavor. So it's really worked well. And also we started doing the charity meal. Still today, we cook for World Central Kitchen. We cook for before we used to do it quite a lot across the country wherever we got opportunity. But Chicago and also San Francisco are doing off and on. But Chicago still every morning we do that. And I think those are the things really help us to explore.
I would like to talk a little bit about this charity aspect. We are obviously in the business of food, but some of us are also personalities, right? We are brands in our own selves. Maneet for sure is one. Vikas Khanna, who happens to be from our college, Maneet, he has done a fabulous job from his apartment in Manhattan. I met him a few weeks ago when he was there. I was like, what are you doing? He's in a tiny apartment in Manhattan, and he's sitting there and everything doing on phone. One day he mistakenly sent me a message, Kunal, 20 kilo rice not there here. I was like, who's this? There was another Kunal he was dealing with in India, apparently. And he saw an opportunity there to make his brand as a philanthropist. I don't know if he's eyeing Padma Shri or Padma Bhushan, but that is going that way. That is Chef Jose Andreas. You might have heard about his World Central Kitchen. He's doing a tremendous job. And I think in all of us in our own way have donated meals. Kamal and Rajesh, Kamal first. Have you done anything in philanthropy wise, donation wise, which you have felt good about? Now I have time to think about charity because now I don't have much to do in catering. Has anything happened like that?
So anyways, even during normal time, I have always believed in giving back. I mean, most of my local community, like we live in suburbs. My business is all on Oak Tree Road, as Kunal, you know very well. It's a very close-knit community. Like you automatically, when you work, you make your living in this community, you have to give back. And even from India, I come from a family background where we do believe in giving back, whether the pandemic or not the pandemic. So that's the way of life. That's the kind of upbringing we have. Even during this, there have always been local food drives on Oak Tree Road. There's a Oak Tree business community. There has been, even the chamber has done few events, like wherever we as restaurateur could help. Because this was a situation where part of it is you need help because our company is huge. Like I have more than 200 employees. These are full-time employees I'm talking about, between all the 10 locations and the catering size, and having 50% of revenue getting shot. Because what happens the first quarter of every year, because of the weather conditions in New York, New Jersey, tri-state area, anyways, it's bad for catering business. Even the dining business falls down. People don't want to go out. They're not that adventurous, especially like our Indian community. Because my clientele is all 95% we cater to our own community, Indians. People are skeptical. If they see there's going to be rain, nobody wants to go out. So given that we were already struggling, as we struggle every year, as a smart businessman, you take into account those first 3 months because you know you're not going to make any money. You still have rents to pay. You still have payroll to pay. So you start saving from the last quarter of the previous year. We were recovering from that, and end of March, boom, pandemic happened. My first and the foremost objective or that thing was to first of all make sure all my staff and their families are good, because as much as I personally am connected to the company or my restaurants are connected to the community, I am connected to my staff. For me, those are my immediate world. And as we all know, we all are restaurateurs who are not everyone belongs to the same socio-economic background, right? There is a server, or there is a dishwasher in the back, or there is a third helper in the kitchen whose job is just to do the cutting, chopping and all, who's barely surviving on like minimum wages, does have family too. He has his own kids to go and feed. He has his own rent to pay. So a part of my charity happened within the company. That was my first step. And as and when anybody who has approached me we have never said no to anything. We are always there. We are open. There was a time when in the March, it came as a panic. It came as a bomb blast. We didn't know right at that point. Nobody even knew the virus. Even CDC did not know what is this virus, what causes it, how it spreads. Every day there was new news. Every day there was a conflicting story within the same news channels. We decided to shut down, take a break because it was getting too much. And although when we were shut for almost a month, and when we reopened by end of April for takeouts only, during that month, our kitchens were still rolling. There were my chefs, there were my managers who were taking turns and chances, and our kitchen was open, our catering kitchen for our own families. Whoever wanted to at least come and collect food, they were willing. People were coming who were traveling, who lived 2-3 hours away. They were coming and they wanted to take food. So a lot of those things happened. And then by the month that we were sitting at home, we were trying to figure it out. We were trying to adopt to the new strategies, new normal, as they say. Obviously, we reopened with takeouts, and thank God, as I said, we are blessed that although we lost 50% of our business, with 50% of my payroll is from the catering side, which are full-time payroll, which is done, and we don't even know what's going to happen next year. Thank God we also had the fast casual side of our business. Thank God we had like Mughal Express and Mithas locations, which were built as a fast casual, where the price point, because what is happening right now, everything has changed. Our potential customer, their eating habits, their spending habits, their expectations, whether the food comes in a box, what comes out of that box, how much are they spending on it, how much value they're getting, portions to quality to delivering it safe to contactless. So so much was happening one after, and so much is still happening. But as I said, I always stay positive. I'm not a person who complains. We still learn, we still manage, and we're still managing from our fast casual side, which most of our restaurants are now takeout only. We have dining at some. We still don't have outdoor dining because there is no provision, there is no space to do outdoor dining. But thank God that we are able to sustain. We are able to, till today, we have not let go even a single employee of ours.
I think that's charity enough. That's the biggest charity which you have done, Kamal. I'm going to take this to Rajesh. I just got this message from Sachin Shah. He's one of our members, and he also runs this Blackthorn pub in New Brunswick. That's not an Indian restaurant, happens to be run by an Indian. It's a pub. Most of us know that. He's saying during these tough times, 30% of the restaurants might be wiped out. That's also an opportunity for others, 70%. It's a malicious way of looking at it, I guess, but then that is the reality. 30% will close, but that's an opportunity for the other 70%. Now, any thoughts on that? Would you call that an opportunity? I think
I personally
there's
feel
a way to look at it.
I personally feel it'll be more than 30% once all said and done, things settle down. Right now, a lot of people who are operating also, unless this second round, which is your next question, I know doesn't come. There are a lot of people who are just operating right now on the PPV they got, and the business they're doing is not sustaining if it were completely done on their own financial industry. So once that dries up also, people are going to go. And as far as opportunity is concerned, there's always an opportunity. You know, if you're obviously, if there were 26,000 restaurants in New York and now you're going to have only 15, you know, so depending where you are, it would definitely be an opportunity there. But I have done most of my business always, I think, in New York City, right? And I can only say a lot about New York City, which I think is the worst hit probably of any, because it depended completely on, you know, the restaurant industry was based, and it was the, you know, the hub of tourism, the hub of financial world. You know, you have this corporate dining, big people coming, spending 20 million tourists a year, and that's vanished, and you don't know where it's going to start. The biggest thing happening here is, I think, the uncertainty of knowing what is going to be there. You know, normally when you're doing a restaurant, think you're opening a restaurant, you make your projections, you come up, okay, this is going to be rent, this is going to be this, blah, blah, blah. And this is how I am going to operate. I put a figure, okay, this is the amount of sales I can do based on the footfall and the number of people I think I can have. Right now, it is impossible to gauge even to know what we are going to expect, even if indoor dining starts, let's say they say 40% is social distancing. It would not be enough to sustain, especially an operation like ours, with huge overheads to do that unless you tailor it down, tweak it down, and to do differently. So, but on the other hand, I have seen. I live in New Jersey, so I'm in the suburbs. So when this thing has happened, work from home. So all the people who were in the city have moved out of the city and gone back to the respective states or areas where they were, and they're not coming out, so they're working at home. So all the neighborhood places which have opened outside, I'm saying New York, are doing expectantly well, and they're actually doing better numbers. I asked few of them, and they were doing better numbers now after the pandemic than they were doing before. So that's an opportunity for them, right? Because all the people who are not there are now centralized there. Density has increased, and people are not going to the city as much. They're there. I mean, I've been talking to some of the big tenants like, Tishman Spires. They wanted to take a location, and they're telling me, and they're telling me themselves, for example, Rock Center is at 12% occupancy. And after September, they expect it to only go up by 10%. Now imagine if 25% occupancy is there, how are you going to have the footfall which people were so used to in New York? I mean, that's why you see all the big time. Thomas Keller has closed. Today I was reading Arc Restaurant, which have 20 restaurants, big ticket. They have this Bryant Park Grill and Cafe. It does about 28 million a year, $80,000 a day sales, approximately, down to 10,000. They can only use a patio. And he's out of his 5 operations, 3 is shut, 2 are open. And he's today said absolutely that I am not even thinking of opening any more restaurant in New York City because the opportunity lies outside. Now my numbers in Florida, where the pandemic is even worse than New York, which is controlled, he says the numbers in Florida are much better than what I do in New York with much lesser cost of operations. So unless New York City something does dramatically, to help people, like landlords have not budged that much, maybe giving 2 months here, 3 months here, or 50%. I don't think that's going to be enough to sustain on a longer run, So that's the biggest problem of New York City.
Yeah. So opportunity lies in areas. I live in Brooklyn, New York, and man, my neighborhood is buzzing in the evening. Yeah. I mean, restaurants are done by 10 o'clock. They're a little early, but they have created opportunities, like people who were not doing takeout are doing takeout. Somebody's selling just groceries. And we are coming to the next one now, innovation, which is our next topic. Can we have the slides, please, Gurpreet? As I was saying, opportunity and innovation is kind of related, right? There's a picture which is coming. Let's wait for that, which will say 1,000 words. The next one. Yes. So you see the previous one. Yes. So you see on the right side, this is actually a restaurant. It's not a simulated image of these cubicles, which look like champagne flutes to me, of a restaurant. Now, on the left side, there is a guy who creates it's a fine dining restaurant, which created this little egg or something, which looks very fancy, which could be on a plate I can imagine that being in Baar somewhere, or Rooh or somewhere, or even in Maneet's restaurants. And it's in a little box. Food and design innovation, keeping businesses aside, do you think these are breeding grounds for innovation? We'll start with Maneet, of course. Maneet, breeding grounds?
Absolutely. I think, desperation calls for the most innovative of all solutions. And we've always seen that over the years. At times, some of these things go overboard. To me, especially that photograph.
Like that picture on the right side.
Yes, I'm like, come on. Who would want to go out and dine that way, right? But it has had people start thinking on a lot of different levels, right? And the most interesting part is that each and every person contributes, right? It's interesting, like the examples which I can give you the best is what we are doing, because we're so, that's what's happening in front of me. Starting right from the kitchens, where the entire kitchen is working on menus on how to increase the, the cover per person. Like, how would people be inspired to spend more money when they come in? Because let's face it, not everybody is comfortable coming out, right? We are having people coming in, but right now we are operating at 50% occupancy, right? And that is the mandate, and it closes at 10 o'clock, means we know that we have to stop seating people at 8:30. So we have got a smaller window to serve people. So that is absolutely, innovation is even how we've set up the entire restaurant to serve people so that there is 6 feet, in between. And again, I keep on coming back to the fact that in Nashville, we do have the luxury of space. I mean, if I was in New York, I don't know how innovation, maybe you needed those upside down, overly crazy champagne, upside down champagne glasses to keep apart. But the one thing in terms of innovation, what we've done, which has been really interesting, is I used to be out traveling all the time, giving demos and doing cooking classes and stuff. What we've started doing is now we go ahead and ship those kits to people. And I get onto Zoom with somebody who knows technology a little bit better than me. And we just go ahead and do the cooking class together. And in the end of the day, people are cooking, they are doing something, because what people are missing the most is the experience, experience of anything, be it cooking, be it sewing or anything. And that's something that we have offered. So I do think that in terms of innovation, that has been a fun thing that we've come up with.
Awesome. Sujan, tell me, now we're going to keep it a little quick, this one, because I'm just keeping tab of time. Let the 3 panelists remaining, can you please think of one innovation which you have either seen or you have practiced? Maneet has come up with a good one, which many restaurants are doing, the meal kits, but she also has attached it to her status as a person who teaches cooking. But not every chef can teach. Not every chef is comfortable on television. Not every chef or a computer. So other elements of innovation. Over to you, Sujan.
Okay, I run through really quick. Innovation has been done from not only from the people who are running restaurants, it's from different agencies, even from government. I see a lot of initiative and innovation going on. I will touch point a couple of them. One thing, few things were there before. We never explored that ideas. I would say just after pandemic, since I was doing a small piece for Food and Wine, they said, what gonna change? I noticed that thing before. People, they have QR codes, right? Instead of menu, they have the QR code. You scan the QR code. So I said, this may work. And it's not only me, I said that, but I've seen that before, but no one used to bother about that. But now you see QR code is a big thing, right? And it's so easy to use. And I would say other thing, instead of doing, the a la carte menu, if you do set menu for takeout, what happened is your check size is bigger, and you can control the things, right? So that's what I've done. And another thing we have done it, but I'm lucky that I'm part of that as well. Few agencies, they contacted me. I'm I chosen as a beneficiary. What they're doing, they're getting fund. They're giving that fund to the farmers, local farmers, and we are getting, the produce from there, and we are cooking, right? So the money is going to the farmers, so the supply chain been maintained. I think that is amazing innovation, I would say. So I want to touch upon this too. A lot of people are doing a lot of things, setting up restaurant, funny things, good thing, bad thing. Some will stay, some will go. But I think these 3 things I thought I should mention.
Also, I would like to all the panelists to think of a dish which came out in pandemic. You don't have to answer if you don't know of a dish. Think of a dish while we go to Rajesh Bhardwaj. Don't say quarantini cocktail.
No,
Rajesh,
I'm within the innovation part. I think we did something. I shouldn't call it innovation, but just an idea came when we were sitting and saying, what do? We used to have a lot of large tables. People of 8, 10 come and dine, and we knew their family. So we went back into our database and looked at all our guests, customers who had larger reservations. It took us a few days, but we went through it and came with a list of like a lot of people. So we said, let's email them and see if they were interested in doing a family dinner at their house. So, and we just send them email blasts. You will be surprised that a lot of them were so interested. They booked dinners. So we sent the chef there with all our kits, everything, and actually cooking in their house for this thing and sit down giving the experience. And some people wanted a complete experience. They said, okay, we want wine service as well. So okay, pre-choose your wine. And we bring the wine. I would send my som also there. So it was like a dinner what they would have at the restaurant, instead they're having at the house on the dining table, served by the chefs. So that did pretty good. And then there's something else which I mean, I don't operate, but I am a partner in it. That's a more technology business. So it's called Kitchen Stadium. It was started like 3 years ago. The idea was to have meals from known restaurants only for lunch 5 days, and give for offices to order. So it was not a ghost kitchen or anything. We didn't cook anything. So it was, for example, Junoon had few dishes. We had Sweet Greens do their salads. We had Begin do their this thing. So pick up their big items. And the database was big. It was purely technology based. Someone I know, he's the one who is the CEO and he manages, but I'm just behind that. So emails would go. People order their meals 1 day in advance. Like mostly you will get by 7 p.m. and the orders will go to the restaurants. And before 10, our team would go pick up from all these restaurants, bring our central area we had on 27th Street. And from there, it was more like a distribution hub. So people sitting in office, 50 people ordered, but 2 wanted from Begin, 4 wanted from Junoon, 1 wanted from Sweet Green, somebody wanted from something else. So they all could get from different. So now that got completely shut down. Obviously, restaurants got shut down in lockdown. So that business went, I wouldn't say burst in the sense, but we couldn't do it because the restaurants are not there. Sweet Green is closed, Junoon is closed, Diggin is closed. There are all these, every restaurant is closed out there, so we couldn't get it. So I said, we have the database, what do we do? And all the people who are sitting at home want something. Even the restaurants closed, so what we started doing, called it Snack Magic. And we said, $40, you can order for yourself, snacks, drinks, whatever you want, or you can send, if you like to send it to some of your friends or workers somewhere, all through the country, I'm telling you. And we do about 300 orders a day.
Oh, wow.
On an average.
I have a question.
Like just came out, which nobody knew what the heck that was.
That's amazing, Rajeshji. I have a question which I'm going to give to Kamal Arora, because he's the one who is most closely related to what we can call as a QSR. Not fully a QSR company, but you have elements of a QSR in your business. Mithas, for example. Ajay T says, hi, great webinar with a lot of first-hand information from an esteemed panel. As most panelists are into fine dining or fast casual and not into QSR, what are their thoughts on innovation in drive-through? Is that something that will expand beyond QSR now as an additional revenue channel where they can put up a drive-through window? I guess the answer is yes, 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 and yes. Kamal?
Yes. So let me, because we all had our own views, and I always talk from suburbs, right? We talk straight from, we are in the face of our customers. We are a community, right, which we have built over the years, and that's where we get most of our business. There were many things that we did, and most of them worked out. As I said, innovation necessity is a mother of invention. So first and foremost thing, that 1 month when we shut down, I was glued to internet, I was glued to television, watching, seeing, understanding this virus, seeing where the trend was going, what is going to happen, because at that point, everything was shut down. One thing I realized that as soon as we reopen for takeout, one thing you need to build is confidence. Your customer need to be confident about going to your place or getting the food from your place, because at that time people didn't even know that food is not a carrier of virus, right? Food doesn't cause it. We didn't even know. Half of the world didn't know. So what will we do? So immediately during lockdown, the first and the foremost thing was, because of course we deal with Indian food. Indian food has its own challenges. Cooking is very difficult. Traveling of the food. So food has to travel well, because the delivery concept in suburbs is not that big. Right? The companies were coming up, but then you lose 30%. We all know, we all deal with it. So people are not, somewhere, even if you pass it on to the potential consumer, in a pandemic situation, even charging extra 10 cents would be calling for trouble or getting trolled on social media or something. So we decided, no, we will build confidence where we have to throw in some sort of incentives. First thing came as incentive. Second thing came in was, because our app, as I said, we still work in a very conservative way, very traditional way of doing business. People landing from Metro Park, 4,000 people land in 1 hour. They all are calling. They are familiar with the staff. They only talk and place order with that. At that point, we become phone operators. I get on weekends or even on weekdays in the evening, I get 3 to 4 people just picking up the phone calls. Nobody will go on the app. We had these apps for all these years, but for the first time, we put those apps to work. Why? You download the app, you get $5, you get $10, you spend 100, you get, so innovation in terms of incentivizing people. Then at the same time, constant message that's going out that, live videos of kitchen to extent where I've gone live on Facebook Live, leave the camera there, let people watch how we make it, and let it be live for years, whether somebody watches or not. But even one person who's confused about placing an order, why? I mean, I don't know what their kitchen is, because restaurants are shut. Right, even till today, coming back to the drive-away thing also, you call, it's totally contactless. You don't get inside the restaurant. We come out, we carry those credit card machine, we bring your bag, you open your trunk, we keep it there. There is no contact, absolutely. But how do we build that confidence that where we are cooking is also at the same time we are maintaining the standards, even the staff is there, temperature is checked. One thing is, the social media is a great power. So started doing that, brought in a machine which shrink wraps fragile item like red curry, Thai red curry, which no matter, you can buy the most expensive takeout container, by the time you take it home, it will still spill from some corner. So we started shrink wrapping every individual thing. And now we go, like, you can play, like you can throw it on each other. You can, play catch, and this will not spill. So that added another boost, because my customer, they may roll in a Rolls Royce or a Bentley, and God forbid if my butter chicken or my red curry spills their carpet, I'm done. I cannot even afford the $1,500 detailing of that car. So that helped us big time, because now we know, we tested it and we are openly talking about it, that guys, this is the food you need at this point. Even the box is not touched by hand because it's done by a machine. So those were the things. So and there were a lot of other things. I mean, menu, obviously your menu has to be a smart menu. Another thing I noticed was that there was a cooking epidemic too. As the pandemic was going on, there was a cooking pandemic going on in every household, where people are like cooking. Facebook is flooded, Instagram is flooded, husband is cooking, wife is cooking. So I was like, where is the scope? Where do we fit in? Right? Yes, there was a patience game that everything will calm down. It's just like a storm. People will give up. At the end of the day, they need to order out. As long as you are ready for that particular moment, when the wife is sick, husband is like, don't even give me that onion to cut, because I'm done. I'm doing it for 3 weeks. I'm not going near it. That's where we fit in. And very interesting thing that we did, which I definitely want to share with the audience, is that in the beginning, and I have friends who work in technology, majority of them, I think 100% of them suddenly started working from home. And obviously at that point, I mean, for a person like me who never has time to breathe, for the first time, I'm sitting at home, I'm catching up, we are doing phone calls. I realized, talking to most of them, that dinners were not an issue with them. I'm talking about beginning of April, end of March situation, when we are in extreme virus conditions. People were having issues with lunch. Husband, wife, both are logged in. They're logging in. For them, it's working like office, right? So now they get that half an hour break, but they don't have time to make good lunch. And they want, because they are now working, there is pressure, there is tension. They'll quickly grab something, or they don't even have time to go run to a Burger King and get a sandwich. So I put a small group of 10 couples on WhatsApp, along with one of my manager on the group. I was like, listen, we'll bring your lunch. Every day you post your lunch at 10 a.m., what you would like to have between 12:30 to 1:30. And we will send that door. And at that time, it was a losing proposition, because you have to pay toll, you have to travel to different suburbs, Short Hills or Marlborough or wherever. But I said, it's okay, it's 10. And we always constantly, I myself kept on adding that, please, if you see any more couples or anyone you want to add to this group, started off as 10 in the beginning of April. Today, we have 200 families on that group. Closed net, private network, boom, I had to start reopening mithas earlier. Now we come in at 9 a.m. in the morning instead of 11, because now the delivery starts going by 11:30. So now we have two of my staff which were working in the restaurant. Now they drive. So we are utilizing them. They're making money. They're making great tips. They are motivated to go deliver. We came up with our own channel. There is no Uber Eats. There is no Grubhub, because it just somehow over here in my market, it just doesn't work. But what worked was, now they're talking to their favorite person on the phone, and the favorite person is also outside their home. All we're doing is ringing the bell and dropping it there. And then we go sit in the car, we text them. Okay, did you check everything is okay up to the satisfaction? Yes, sir, thank you. Move on to the next, move on to the next. So now with the lunch, the dinner deliveries have started. So I think that was it was that struggle for first 1 month. By the time April we struggled, we paid out of pocket. And I said, guys, let's not leave it. Even if we get 5 lunches or 2 lunches to deliver at a 45-minute distance, let's do it. I believed in it that this will pick up. And people are these days spending a lot of time on social media, WhatsApp, and also one person said another to another to another. It literally went viral. I have now 200 customers which are placing order. It's just like that, what do you call a ghost kitchen or a cloud kitchen. So every morning we get it and boom, we just fill our car and we start delivering.
That's amazing. But to answer the question of this gentleman, just making something drive through is a lot of construction and a big cost also. As a concept, it's easy, but as a concept, it's very simple to say, yes, of course, that will work, but it has a lot of costs involved and a lot of toda tadi and a lot of construction involved. All right, I will request all of you guys to keep your answers to less than 2 minutes for every question, because I'm also the timekeeper and we all have stuff to do. It's 6:07. So I'm going to go to the next topic, which is, can we have the slides, please, Gurpreet? The next topic is, I think, of the most consequence, which really matters to the 5 of us, which who own and operate restaurants. What do we do to stay afloat? Now, one is, today I was reading something and they said one is survival and the other one is to strengthen. So I don't know about strengthen part, but survival is important right now. Some people are kind of thriving more than surviving. The word was thriving actually. Like the pizzerias and McDonald's are thriving. Amongst the 5 of us, I don't think we are thriving. If the word thriving can be used, I'm very happy for you.
Surviving, I think.
Surviving. Rajesh, one word: surviving, thriving.
I'm close for operation.
You're close.
So
Maneet, surviving or thriving?
I'm just relaxing.
Good, you need that. You need that. That's an opportunity.
I'm just preparing for the future when we reopen with a different view.
Yeah, Maneet, surviving or thriving?
The interesting part is that the restaurant aspect of the business is surviving, but the beer park is thriving. I mean,
nice.
Thanks to COVID, people are drinking.
Yeah,
so
I'll just circle back to that.
Alcohol
I'll just circle back to that. That needs a discussion. Sujan, thriving or surviving?
I think in middle, I would say hibernating to wait and watch.
Okay, hibernating. Maybe you need rest. Okay, coming back to that slide again, I put a lot of thoughts. Gurpreet, can we have the slide again, please? Yes. So I came up with these 3 C's, which I think are important to stay afloat. I call it communicate, collaborate, and change. Communicate, as Kamal just said, communicate with your guests. A lot of communication. We are open. We are working. A lot of guests are also in a very giving mode right now. Oh, that restaurant is open. Let's help them. I mean, I get that all the time. So communication is important with your guests. Communication with the community is also very important. Communicate with your landlord. You never know. Some guy will give you a break. I mean, I know Rajesh ji pointed out that they're not doing much, but you never know. Some communication might be good. I'm going to keep the restaurant open, and that might work some wonders. And then is collaborate. A lot of businesses have collaborated with other businesses. Like I at Kebab Culture did it with hospitals. I did a few free lunches, and after that I got paid lunches because the hospital also thought that they are like essential workers, but so are the restaurants. We are not saving lives, but we are feeding people. We are also essential workers. So it became like a very good gig for us. It's still continuing with Robert Wood Johnson Hospital in New Brunswick, where every week we have an order, and that pays for one of my chef's salaries. So collaboration is important, and change. For example, I don't know, I will take a Junoon's example right now, and I will come back to Rajesh ji. How much has he thought about change? Because his restaurant segment, yes. So we'll start with you, Rajesh ji. We'll start with you. Let's talk about change.
Yeah, actually a lot, because like I said, that's why we are taking this time off to really think when we do reopen, what it's going to take to, be back into the same groove what we were. I don't know how long it's going to take. That all depends on the market conditions. But yes, definitely, I think like, big crowds are gone. Larger gatherings won't be there comfortable. Your bar, you have to figure out, for you saw Junoon's bar, 30-foot long bar. I think redundant space, really. That would require 4 people behind the bar, and you're losing that space also because people won't be comfortable sitting out there. The whole concept of bar was, if you need to go to a bar where there are 3-tiered, where you get, crowd and, you want to chat and drink and all. That's the whole fun of a bar, which you're going to lose. So what's the point of having that? Now it's going to go back a little to be doing into more of a service bar. Whether in the restaurant you still create your drinks, but it will not be as much as a bar business out there. So one point you can take from there. Now, obviously, there are 2 views. I don't know, because I talked to a lot of people, and some restaurant consultants. Some feel that fine dining may survive in the sense that people would not mind paying extra as long as they go to a space where they know sanitization is prime, the kitchen is spec, they have trust in that, and they want to go and dine in a place where they feel comfortable doing it, and they won't mind paying that extra dollar, do that instead of that small dingy places where which used to do great business, like cafes and all, one on top of the other, 2 feet tables. I don't know whether that market will define, but there is a thought process that may happen.
I have a question here for you, sir. I have a question. I'm going to give you a hypothetical scenario. Think of how many covers does Junoon have?
Oh, how many covers we have? So I would say 180.
Okay, if I tell you that make that 180 into 40 cover restaurant and increase the prices and the quality of your service, or elevate your cuisine to such a way that you can make the same money in 40 covers in that space. Do you think there are takers? There are takers for that?
No. Means, no, not at all. Means I'll have to have EMP prices, and nobody's going to pay for Indian food. We have to understand what your cuisine is and what you can derive from there. Anyway, people are bitching the most expensive Indian restaurant and blah, 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 which I don't feel like. I don't feel every time I go out to any damn restaurant, I end up spending a lot of money. You know what people think? When they look at the check and they have blown $1,000, they don't realize they had two bottles of wine, which cost $600. The food was only $300, and they go home and say, oh man, $1,000 to spend.
So what I mean is the one who's really either a rich person or the one who's actually desperate to dine in a restaurant will come, no? Don't you think so?
No, they will, but tell me, there's a big if, number one, and you cannot base your whole operation on it. You have your rent, you have your payroll cost, you got the other costs associated. Means one of the reasons I'm rethinking whether I want to open in the same spot, because even if we have run with our landlord, first of all, he was not willing to even budge, and now he's come back to me at maybe 50% rent he may consider. But at 50% also, when I put my numbers, my break even is suddenly, I realize my break even number. I won't give that number, but I feel very difficult. I don't feel confident to achieve that number till next, I would say, 6 to 8 months. So if I don't achieve that number for 6 to 8 months, then what? Then that means I keep going under for all this time, and not worth it. And restaurants will never suddenly do that business, that you can recover your 8 months loss. It never happens like that. 1 week if you are doing 70,000 doesn't mean next week you're doing 140. It's not going to happen. So it's very difficult.
All right, Sujan, collaborate, change. Select one of the 3 C's: collaborate, change, and communicate. Select one and please exemplify what have you done with those.
I think I'm learning. You have a very nice presentation, and I collaborate always. I'm, even it's COVID or not, I'm always up for that. The collaborate. That's the way we should go. But I should mention one thing: as we have restaurant in different part of the country, right? The weather gonna play a much bigger role. Now you'll see that a lot of people they are doing business because they have outdoor seating, right? But think about it in winter, those option will go. You cannot see people outside in winter, and unless until you have that kind of number coming inside the restaurant, then it's all gone in terms of New York, in terms of Chicago. But in that way, California is safe because you can sit outside throughout the year. So I think these are the things we should. And last thing is very small thing. You should have your backup because God forbid anyone infected with COVID, you have to shut your operation for a certain period of time. So understand your backup staff. So it's gonna be very difficult to operate as well. So, but collaboration, if you come out with a couple of people and work with other chefs, maybe do things. I think that also helps. Minimize your risk, and you can do better. Reach out to a bigger community, and that may work.
Great answer, Kamal. You have 1 minute. You take a lot of time in answering questions sometimes.
Do I really?
You are very passionate about your business. That's all it says. Okay, yes.
All right. You can always raise hand. You can always give me a cue. So.
Okay, now select 1C and tell me what have you done? You changed, collaborated, communicated.
Well, been there, done all three. As I said, past 3 months have been a lot of learning experience. You did mention at some point, you mentioned landlord, and I want to take the opinion of my fellow panelists here as well. I've heard this, Rajeshji, let me share this with you, that in New York, landlords have worked with their tenants. I've heard it from so many. I literally have been on talks and on calls. Yeah. You and me have spoken many times. Yeah. But in New Jersey, like I have 10 different landlords that I deal with. Not even one landlord has agreed to even give us like a penny discount. Maybe one. In one case, I got lucky with like $1,000, $2,000 a month discount, which is like 2% of the total rent, or maybe, which I felt bad. And I was like, listen, I'm not doing that bad. Let me just not even take a favor. I'll just keep. So we are paying 100% rent. PPP, no PPP. Again, PPP, I think, was one of the most unthoughtful, one of the most undefined role. I mean, I did not see any benefit except for few payroll that you got. But it happened. The time when it came in, people were collecting unemployment, right? Nobody wanted to come to work. I literally felt this. I mean, this is the first time. There was a time where my son, myself, my wife have been working, not because I mean, I've always been working, but these two have to, in the midst of pandemic, I had to pull them out of the house and put them to work because people genuinely didn't want to come to work. And they were actually making good, decent money. And I did not know how to do it. Like, what do I do with this money? I'm calling my CPA. I said, can I do this? No, you cannot pay this bill. Can I pay my Cisco bill? No, you cannot do this. Okay, I gave it to landlord. Now what? I paid 1 month rent. It's gone, right?
Kamal, that's the next question. I'm going to stop you here. The next question is PPP.
So communicate. Yes, I communicated with the landlords, but nothing happened.
They didn't work. Okay, cool. Some other things which I have. Can we have the slide back, please, Gurpreet? Slide number 4, stay afloat. A few other things which I will sum up with to stay afloat are communicate, change. I think if you don't have Uber Eats, and there are a lot of people who are watching also who are new restaurateurs. If you don't have Uber Eats, you don't have third-party delivery, get it now. Get it now. See, the great American takeout, the picture you see on the left says a lot of things. There's a revolution happening. So you cannot say, oh, my menu is not takeout friendly. Then change your menu. There's the change part comes. Then gift cards is a very big thing. It's obviously a very big thing from now on, end of summer. People are ready to help restaurants, and they would love to buy gift cards which are redeemable in the next 5 years by law. So, read between your P&Ls. There might be certain expenses which you might be incurring. Maybe it's related to your food or other things. Read between them, negotiate with people, again, communicate, trim down your P&L statement, and then I think one can stay afloat. These were my few cents on it. Can we have the next slide, please, Gurpreet? And we are coming to this contentious issue of PPP loan forgiveness. Now, let us explain people. I would like one of you to explain people. I won't talk much. What do we understand by PPP? Maneet, do you have a definition? Do you know exactly what PPP is?
I mean, it's a payroll protection plan. That is what PPP stands for.
Yeah.
And I mean, basically what it is I think my explanation was that there was so much of ruckus which was being caused by everybody in the hospitality industry that the government had to do something, and they came up with the PPP. The problem is that they never came up with a good explanation of what it is. That being said, we've absolutely applied for it. We've absolutely got it. There is a lot which is not going to be forgiven, but that's fine. It's a low interest loan. And the one thing which we saw a lot of people doing as soon as they got the PPP was, oh, we got the PPP, now let's hire everybody back. And we're like, what? Because what you're going to do is within a month, you're going to go through this whole thing. What after that? So there has to be a forecasting. There has to be a smart way of looking at it. It is a low interest. I mean, we are looking at it as a low interest loan. In terms of forgiveness, I don't know what is going to be forgiven, what is not. We are absolutely not relying on the forgiveness aspect of it.
Okay.
If it's forgiven, great. That's bonus for us.
I'll explain what PPP is to people right now, the ones who don't know. It's basically money which is 20, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't done my Wikipedia run today. 25% of your monthly payroll, something like that.
No, 60%. It was 60, it was 75, 60. 25, and
yes.
Then they went back, and the task force, restaurant task force went and appealed, and and they said, okay, 60% you can use towards your payroll, and the 40%.
Yeah, no. What I'm asking is how much you get is a percentage of your payroll.
You get 2.5 months of your payroll. What amount was your gross payroll? That's the amount you would get.
Yearly.
Yeah, means 2.5 months.
2.5 months.
2.5 months of your gross
8
payroll.
weeks
of your gross payroll.
Yeah,
okay.
your gross payroll.
And you have the end of this year to use that, correct?
See, that was also that was one of the big issues in the beginning, and very confusing.
They rectified it.
They distributed it in April. By the time they did it, it was too late. Like, for example, I give you April, they sent us money, right? And I'm looking and saying, April, what the heck I'm going to do? And they had this provision saying, in order for it to be a grant, you have to use this money within 8 weeks, right?
Yeah, that was
so first 2 weeks I didn't use. I said, they are stupid. They cannot be, because it does not look like I'll be open in 8 weeks or 10 weeks from that time, April. So we waited 2 weeks, but nothing came. So we said, oh damn, and so let's call people back. And luckily, like Maneet said, I did call, but 50% didn't want to come back because they were making more money sitting at home from this unemployment at $600 over the federal giving them and whatnot. Yep. Yeah, so they didn't want to come. So we had like whatever 30%, 40% came back, and I gave them payroll, and they were just sitting out there watching their Facebook and sitting in the restaurant doing nothing. I mean, how much delivery will you do? What can you do? For 5 weeks later, I think they came back. The moment they came back, I said, shut that damn thing down. And and also it I think badly implemented, because it's like one size doesn't fit all kind of a thing. They should have done it for different states for different duration. No, New York is worst hit. It's not going to open. It's still we are in middle of August, and there are no signs of indoor dining yet.
Also, different industries.
Yes, absolutely. They should have done it that way. Okay, where there is less, you could have given them a longer duration.
Chef Sujan, what do you think can be done by the government other than PPP? Should they just give money to businesses based on their turnovers and say, okay, this is a grant? Is that the right approach?
I already told you, it's not only giving it to money to businesses straight away. I think if we have to retain the supply chain, right? Restaurant will not going to survive if your farmers are not doing any agriculture, or they are dying. So that's not going to work. It's all a 360-degree approach. So I think unless until the supply chain is maintained, then I think PPP is no use. And as Mr. Bhardwaj said, they are making more money sitting at home. I don't know, I'll just give you a simple example. At UK, I have a lot of friends there. They are giving money to the employer, and employer giving money to the employee. So it's not going straight to them. They're though getting 80%, but anytime the employer can call the employees back, so that's still you are maintaining that just chain, right? Here people can sit at home, get the money, and also restaurants are getting PPP. We don't know how to use sometimes, but I think we should operate such a way that we should not touch that money and we should keep it for future. That's
Right.
should be the basic.
I'm not going to ask that question to you guys that whether you have touched your PPP money. That's a personal thing. But I think what Sujan has said is the way which most people are thinking about with the PPP. They are just watching and waiting. Kamal, I know you are very passionate about this subject since you have the largest workforce amongst the five of us. Did you have that problem of people just sitting at home and collecting an unemployment check, and their check is obviously larger than what their weekly payroll
100%.
is? You only 1 minute.
Yeah, 100%. I had that problem, and just like as Maneet said, yes, we did get it. We get it at the time when we didn't know what to do with it. We had no strategy. We had no idea which direction business was going, and we had no workforce either. Right now, it's just we are hoping that this whole money that's sitting there untouched or maybe barely touched to be converted into some sort of grant. If not, it's just a cheap loan. Definitely, and as I said, with me, the problem that I'm facing is not I am surviving. My problem would be when we are ready for the reopening or the normal. At that point, the amount of working capital, and I'll give you a perfect example in New Jersey. Few weeks ago, when governor announced that certain date the indoor dining will open. Now imagine, like, all my restaurants we are operational internally, but dining rooms are all shut down. All the furniture has been relocated. Half of them is sitting under tents outside. So I was like, oh my God, we have only like 1 week. We will open for indoor dining. I got in my contractor, started painting, started doing all the repair jobs, this and that, because the dining room has to look awesome, right? It's something that has not been in that spirit, right? I believe I'm a strong believer of spirits, the whole mahol around it. So before he went back and shut down the dining again, I was under like $40,000-$50,000 in just bare like touch-ups and paintings and chandeliers and this and that and that. And I was like, I look stupid. And my staff, my general manager was literally yelling at me. He was like, why the hell did you do that? And I was like, listen, because I believe the first impression. If after such a long time, whoever is that first customer who's coming to dine in has to get that awesome, that wow factor. That's why I spend that money. But we spend that money, we shut it again. And now I think by the time we reopen again, we'll have to again spend the money. All my furniture is gone. All my table chairs, because we didn't have money to spend on outdoor furniture. We located the indoor, assuming that it's still covered by umbrellas and tents. But then those storm came and the 100-degree temperature came, boom, it's all done. So
Right.
Every day is a new challenge.
Let's move on to I know it is. And you definitely are facing the worst, I feel. Future of restaurants. That's our last slide and our last topic. We are definitely over time. We are going to finish this in the next 4 minutes. Everyone has 1 minute to talk about the future of dining, which according to me, a big part is cloud kitchens. Think about, so fine dining for now is gone, at least for a year, if not more. And other than cloud kitchen, if you have something, please share. This is my analogy that this is the way to go. Somebody just asked me a question on the Q&A also. If I am a new entrepreneur in the food business, what should be my first step? And I just typed him cloud kitchens, boy. There's no other way. I mean, you're not going to open a dining restaurant. Maneet, we'll start with you. Everyone has just 1 minute. Future of restaurants, cloud kitchen, or something else, or just elaborate.
I mean, I do think that cloud kitchen, and I also think much more approachable food. I mean, because a lot of people have not been working for a long time. Their expendable income has shrunk. So they are not going to come and spend too much on high-end places. So just have really good, soulful, approachable food at a reasonable price.
All right, go to Rajesh Bhardwaj, who sometimes told his restaurant is the most expensive Indian restaurant in Manhattan.
I think so. We have to retool ourselves, reimagine, retool, right? A change. So all these things, absolutely, she's right. For the near foreseeable future, we have to tweak the menu, which is, it travels well. People can order home, and also when they come in, It is, yes, the taste has to be there, very soulful, and be affordable, as she is rightly said. So that's, I think, what change would be.
Sujan, Sarkar, what will you change in your restaurants? They are fine dining, kind of, not probably as formal as Junoon, but the cuisine is very avant-garde. It's quite delectable. What are you going to change?
I think we don't have to change much. I think we should have done that before too. Before you getting into any restaurant, you should look into your, the project cost and P&L, and then the rent and all this. Even though it's COVID or not, I think that, and also we have to find a sweet spot, because also sometimes you run from cloud kitchen. I've explored that idea, done kind of intensive research, but it's not for everyone. I think. When you do that, a lot of other people make money from you as well. So I think you have to protect that too. So that may be good for individual, but not where we are at. We should look into innovative way. But I'm hopeful that things will change pretty soon, and people will forget everything, come back, and everything will be buzzing. I think
the Jyotishis are saying that Corona will go just the way it came, within a week.
Yeah. I believe so, because
a lot of astrologers are saying that. Kamal, Arora, the last one for you, and we'll wrap it up very soon. We're not going to talk about restaurants. What is the future of catering?
Well, as I said, it's all about adapting to the new normal. But at the same time, human beings, our system has been made that way that we have to move on. The world goes on. World has seen pandemics before. We are going to see it in future. The interesting part is it's gone. What has gone is 500 people event has become 50. But we still have the weekends. We still have 5 events, 6 events every weekend going on. So as I said, we cannot complain. We are just adopting to what is there today, and be ready for what's going to happen tomorrow. Yes, thanks to our nationwide spread catering services and business. As we spoke, cloud kitchen or executing under the pressure, we always work. I always say a caterer can never die of a heart attack, because we deal with heart attacks every single day. So that has helped a lot, strategizing. Even right now, like my kitchen, our catering kitchen is now literally a cloud kitchen in itself. We are working 24 hours, because we have some shadi in mandir in the 7 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. They need prasad to be delivered for 50 people, whether it's 50 or 500. The production still takes its own time. We don't cut down on our recipes. We don't believe in shortcuts. We are very detailed, recipe oriented, system oriented company. We are working. Our machinery is fully functional. It's just that how much product that machinery is shelling out has changed. But we are ready to do, and I think very soon, as you said, God bless those astrologers, and from your mouth to God's ear, I think this will, and as our great president has also said that, guys, this will disappear one day. You will watch, this will disappear. So we hope that this will disappear, and we will go in the same kind of webinar soon, and we talk about good days.
Yeah, I hope things come when we are in a rush to, oh my God, I have to set up the restaurant in 2 days, Corona is gone. Anyone who wants to give any closing comments, the floor is yours, the first one to speak. Otherwise, I'm going to give it back to the organizers. We are past time. I guess not.
Thank you so much for having us here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. This is the end of it, and I think it was really informative. I've got some amazing feedback on the chat and questions. Another question which has just come, I'll just take it very quick. The first one who knows the answer will get to answer this question. Right now, in the summer, it's okay to eat outside. What will be your plan when the winter will come? Okay. Do you have any business plan for this? Thoughts?
Yeah, we'll shut it down. Go back to take out again. I think, trust me, that's maybe more profitable. This just is open for a few number of people. Anyway.
30 seconds. I need an answer. Otherwise,
yeah. As I said, a month before we were hunting for tents. There were no tents anywhere in Jersey. Then there were no umbrellas. So right now we are hunting for heaters, because I know a month down the road there'll be a shortage of heaters.
But heaters can only do so much. Yeah.
Right.
We just have to eat in.
So yes, we have to, as I said, take each day as it comes. We have to be prepared for a snow day, but at the same time we will recreate and we will make sure the guests are able to sit comfortably.
Maneet Chauhan's food kit business will do well in the winters, I guess.
Absolutely. And we are already seating people inside. So
right.
I'm hoping that even if we stay in phase 2, we should be okay.
We should be okay.
Yes. All right, guys, over to Indy Samra. Thank you very much for joining. He's going to give an official vote of thanks, and then we'll call it quits.
Guys, I want to thank you all. Real thanks to our esteemed panelist and our moderator. I want to say the value that you've added won't just benefit the Punjabi community, but will benefit any community out there that either has restaurants or folks that like to eat. I can tell you that this panel has actually left me feeling very hungry. One of the common themes that I heard during the discussion today was the ability to go ahead and adapt and evolve into given new scenarios. And regardless of what industry you're in, what you've heard from our panelists today is that you've got restaurateurs at the top of their game that have decided to go ahead and pivot or adapt and evolve for their survival. Regardless of your industry, the sector that you work in, this may be a strategy that may prove to be a recipe for the success of your business. Again, from the Punjabi Chamber of Commerce, I want to thank you all again. For our viewers today that are tuned in, trying to figure out where we come up with these topics. These topics are selected by our members. So if you have not already, please go ahead and join us for free membership. Join our business community at punjabichamber.com. Good night here from New Jersey. I wish you all well.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.